Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Banjo-Kazooie. We are back in this blasted, godforsaken level. Unfortunately, however, I do think that in this video I made a lot of progress and I got the majority of the level taken care of. So we're going to go into all the pipes and the windows in this world. There's also a Conker's Bad Fur Day cameo. Rare has a tendency to do that. They really, when they made this game, it got a little bit better in Banjo-Tooie, but definitely when Banjo-Kazooie came out, there's a lot of Rare symbols, which is the company that made the game, and then there's usually cameos in these games. There's a cameo in Banjo-Tooie as well. So I'm going to grab those notes in that window. I'm going to swing by here and remember this code on the wall, 312111. That code, by the way, is the same for every single game of Banjo-Kazooie, Xbox, and Nintendo 64. It never changes, so it's always going to be the same code. We'll need that for a Jiggy later. This is the back of the ship. This is where I was supposed to go when I was going to grab that propeller Jiggy. As you can see there, the propeller is just in the water there. There's also a Rare flag on that flagpole. Just like, you know, I was talking about a minute ago. They like to advertise themselves. This room here, and I did forget to mention this when I did the first video, if you are planning on getting that Jiggy outside, near like the propeller part, you know, where I screwed up, the first Jiggy I tried to grab, the one that's timed, you can come to this little pipe area first, hit that switch, and that's going to slow the propellers in the engine room down. That's going to make it a little bit easier for you to get out of the engine room faster to grab the Jiggy that's in the water, and it will also allow you to grab the Jiggy and the notes that are in the engine room itself, so that way if you manage to be successful and grab both Jiggies, you don't actually have to go back to the engine room again. I had forgotten to mention that just because I wasn't too concerned with the second Jiggy at that point in time, but that's actually really not a bad idea if you're just looking at this video and thinking about what you want to do for playing this level. It's actually a pretty good strategy to use. So, I think we're nearly done on the ship. There might be one pipe or another window I've got to go through, but for the most part I think I'm pretty much done. We still have some outside stuff to take care of just around the level on the ledges. There's also a boss type fight in this video as well. And everything should be done, I hope, at the end of this video, or everything should be relatively close to being finished. There's also that pipe on the wall there, and for some reason I always jump so close to the wall and that pipe always gets in my way and I have a hell of a time trying to get up here to grab these notes. I don't know why. I don't even know why they put that pipe there. I guess just to foil my plans of grabbing those notes or something. So, that's pretty much everything in this room. Some more notes. That's pretty much the only thing of vital importance in all these rooms is notes. There was that one room, like the master's bedroom or the captain's bedroom or whatever you want to call it, that had a Jiggy in it, but I think that's actually where I was missing my last notes when I was finished this recording session and when I was finished getting finished up with this level, where I was missing 4 notes and I couldn't figure out where they were. I think I actually missed a window, but at this point in time, I guess I figured that I was finished and I was planning my next course of action, and that was where we started the video. So I've pretty much made a loop at this point. I'm going to go back to the outside of the level, just because there's a couple more things we need to grab. There's 2 cranes in this level. The first crane had that cage where that Jiggy was, and this crane has TNT, so we're going to be doing something with that in just a moment. But first, you want to climb up to the top and jump over to this area with the gurney switch. You'll be able to just barely make it. It's a really, really close jump, but usually I can do it on my first try. That'll give us our 9th overworld Jiggy. That's one of the easiest Jiggies to grab, actually, in the overworld. It's not even a grunty themed Jiggy, it's just like laying out in the open. But anyways, alright, so now we're going to deal with this TNT. And climbing up this crane is going to allow us to get to the outer part of the world again. This crane is actually beside the other one, but the reason that this one is useful is because it allows you to get to the other side of where that toll was that we couldn't get to because it was on the wrong side. So go ahead and hit this switch, and instead of going up, we're going down, and we're gonna get a big massive explosion. Don't know what Rusty Bucket's big obsession is with explosions. I think this is the only level in the game that has any sort of explosion, TNT, dynamite type reference. There's a lot of explosions in Banjo-Tooie though. Or a lot more anyways. So that toll is going to create a shortcut to those blue storage boxes that we were in the first video, and we had to stop because we couldn't get to these tolls. But now that we can, that is the last one. The most you have to pay is 8 eggs. And we're going to go over and grab this poor lowly little Jinjo. Be careful when destroying these enemies, because if they manage to knock you off the edge, it's going to be a bit of a swim to try and get to any ladder. I think there's some boxes at the back of the ship that you can jump on for temporarily helping yourself out over there. But even when you're standing on that box, your oxygen is still going to drain, so just to be careful. And now that I've grabbed that Jinjo, that's pretty much the only thing that I needed to do on the outside of the level. The only other thing that I think I'm missing is the purple Jinjo, and that's near the start of the level. So we'll go back for that, but first I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to explore the floor that we caved in with the dynamite. So, I recommend having golden feathers for this. As you can see, they're going to give you a lot of eggs, so that's kind of a hint as to what's coming up next. Hey, it's our boss battle! Who dares enter Boss Boombox's hold? I've hidden my jigsaw. You'll never get it. I was half expecting him to rhyme. So I recommend having golden feathers for this because you can just annihilate these little boom boxes with the Wonder Wing. You basically just go right through those enemies. You splintered me, take this. I didn't want it, really. But the level does give you a lot of eggs if you need them. So this boss battle, when I was a kid, I couldn't do. I felt like it was impossible because I forgot that you can use the Wonder Wing with a lot of ease. And I was trying to shoot all these little boxes of TNT, and the smaller they get, the faster they are. And if they explode, it's going to cause like a big chain reaction and you're going to run out of health, which can be pretty irritating. But it's a really easy boss battle if you have golden feathers, so definitely recommend that. Makes your life a whole hell of a lot easier. So after that, we're going to go, and I decided to go back to the outside of the level and grab the purple Jinjo so we can get another Jiggy. So, like I said, this is a lot of me running around wasting a lot of time because I couldn't decide where I wanted to go, but we're almost halfway there with the Jiggies. I think that was our 4th one, and if we grab this Jinjo, that'll be our 5th one, so we're not doing too bad. This is just by the start of the level by the warp pad. So go to the right and go into the water, and there is the purple Jinjo. So, we're done with the Jinjos, which is great. Don't gotta listen to their screaming and their yelling. And we can easily come back up here and restore all of our air. So let's get out of here before that guy explodes. And I think it's about high time that we go ahead and we help Snorkel, because that poor Dolphin has been trapped under that anchor for God knows how long. And I went and I talked to his poor soul, I think in the first video that I was here, maybe the second video, and then I just didn't do anything about it, so he must think I'm a real jerk. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save him. You can actually climb up into the area where the chain is coming from to the anchor, and from here you'll be able to free poor Snorkel from his clutches. Be careful that this water is oily and toxic as well, so try not to loiter in there for too long. You can Wonder Wing these enemies, but I don't find it necessary because there is a lot of space in between all of them to just defeat them pretty easily. There's also some notes to grab in here, so don't forget these. We're 80 notes in, which isn't too bad. We're starting to get our note count up quite high. And then if you press this switch, it will release the anchor. And you free the poor little dolphin. Thanks, guys. I found this earlier. It's yours. I don't know where that dolphin's gonna go, because bays are technically areas that are closed in. Bays generally don't have huge openings of places to go. So, good luck to him, I guess. It's a cartoon, video game type thing. He'll live happily ever after, although we don't see him anymore in this game, which is what I was talking about with this level not having any characters. I mean, you think about, for example, just even Gobi's Valley. It had Gobi or Gobby, and it had Trunker and King Sandybutt and that hand thing. And this level just doesn't have any of that. It's got Snorkel, and then I guess if you want to count Boombox, he's kind of a character, but yeah, short-lived. Now that I've done that, that is, I promise you, absolutely everything that there is to do on the outside of the level. Everything else is on the ship, notes included, and Jiggies. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb up to the top of the ship. So there's some ladders here you can climb up. This is a pretty easy climb. I do recommend on these thinner strips walking as Banjo, just because first of all the camera angle isn't too friendly and it's pretty easy to fall off as Kazooie if you're walking too quickly, and just because I like to be safe. That's just me. I'm also circling around these just to make sure there's absolutely nothing that I missed. There's not even really a lot of enemies. I think the only one is that eel over there. But that's about it, so it's kind of a nice little climb upwards. Go ahead and get rid of him, and then if you come to the top, there's a Mumbo token, and then there's a Jiggy in the other one, so that's going to be another Jiggy. That one's pretty easy to grab, actually. There's no flight pads in this world, except for the one that we got when we were in Snacker's little area, so they just let you climb up and take it. You don't even have to fly there or anything dangerous, so that's great. That's our 7th Jiggy, and we're gonna get one more before the video ends, because the other 2 are in the engine area. And I'm gonna save that for the next video, just in case I die, because it is still pretty likely that I'll do that. So, this is where we're gonna enter that code that we found earlier on the wall. If you come over here to these little, I guess, whistles, and you enter the code, 312111, that's gonna allow you to get a Jiggy as well. So, go ahead and enter that, and there's going to be a nice, beautiful Jiggy that appears right in front of your eyes. So, that's going to be our 8th Jiggy. We made a lot of progress in this video, which is great, but we still have to go back to that blasted engine room, and I'm still missing 8 notes. 4 of them are in the engine room, and 4 of them are in a window that I missed, which I'm going to try and demonstrate in another video, because now that I know where they are, it just drives me nuts that I'm post-commentating over this, looking at how lost I was. But anyways, that's it from me. Continuing on Rusty Bucket Bay in the next video.